Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Overall, down on the daily, link today overall, yeah. But we have a small reaction to the trend line that we talked about in the last videos. So this ascending trend line here, price found some support, but I don't see much, it's only a green candle I see right now. We haven't taken out any previous swing high or anything. So yeah, pretty much the downtrend is still active on the link chart. Situation hasn't changed, so we have our 5-wave move up into the March highs. The main support area is between 12.76 and 6.89. So as long as we're holding basically $6.90, the overall bullish scenario is reasonable. But what cannot be ruled out is that we, in the yellow wave count, go back or dip into the lower support region. I've still labeled it as alternative, but we've taken out the $14.67 level, $14.66, at least briefly. Well, we can discuss if it was a sustained break or not, but because we broke below that level, I assume the yellow count is unfolding until the price can prove that something more bullish is unfolding by breaking above resistance. But we can discuss about that on the smaller time frame. I still see this as potentially bullish wave count overall, but it might mean that in the yellow wave count we test the $10.10 level, or $10 level. Why? Because in the yellow count, so if we assume this was a wave 1 top, then the move down was an A wave, this here was a B wave rally, and we are now coming down in the C wave. And the 100% extension of the A wave points towards $10. You know, that the C wave and the A wave have the same length. They very often have the same length, so it's worth watching for that. What else to say? Well, and obviously, as soon as a low has formed, we are watching for a rally, to $90 plus. That's the idea, $90 plus, but it's not showing yet. So what we need to see is a 5-wave move to the upside. That could still happen, but as I've been highlighting to you in the last few weeks, I think even months, we need to see a rally to $20 at least in 5 waves to have a first confirmation that a wave 2 bottomed on the 13th of April. That takes time and it takes patience. And so far we only have a 3-wave rally from that low. So breaking support, if it happens, and micro support broke at least briefly, we're still fighting with that golden ratio level there. That shouldn't surprise anyone. So let's go to the 1-hour chart. So here you can see the white scenario is the one in which already a low formed. The count, the scenario basically shows us what would need to happen to, let's say, believe or assume that a low has already formed in wave 2, and that would be a first 5-wave move up. We've seen the wave 1, but only in 3 waves, so we have to be on the side of caution. We have seen a wave 2, the 3rd wave developed perfectly according to plan. The wave 4 is a little bit too low to be a wave 4, right? And it also doesn't really look corrective. Yes, you have some overlap in there, but yeah, it doesn't really have a clear 3-wave look. Now we could say the wave 2 maybe also didn't. So, sometimes these microstructures, you have a lot of distortions on these smaller time frames. Therefore, it's best to use the Fibonacci levels. And we know that any sustained break below the 61.8 retracement, it normally means it's too low for a wave 4. Okay, so we have a wave 1, we have a wave 2, a wave 3. This could technically still be a wave 4. And then we could still watch for one more high into the $20 region. If we get 5 waves, I can say, okay, we have the first solid confirmation that a low formed. Unfortunately, the price broke briefly, at least still below that level, $14.66 level. Yeah, so you could say it's a sustained break. Now the thing is, because this is a diagonal pattern, I said it before, the wave 4, even though it's steep, it's not invalidated until we break below the wave 2 low, but it's definitely decreased in likelihood, which is why I rather follow the yellow wave count. Just, in both scenarios, however, a bounce or a reaction to the trend line is likely. So even if this is a wave 4 pullback, somewhere from here at the latest, we should see that 5th wave to start. If this is the yellow count to the downside, I mean, unless the wave 2 was extremely shallow and happened already somewhere, the wave 2 is still due. I have not really any clear micro count here. I mean, maybe it forms another low or so before that bounce starts. But if a wave 2, I mean, all it tells us, if a corrective rally starts from here, to maintain the yellow wave count as leading count, or at least to maintain it with a decent probability, the price should not break above the resistance area. So if this is a wave 2, any break above $17.98 will tell us that probably something different is happening. And that would then be the white count, okay? So what the bulls need to do to really give us a confirmation that a low has been established on the 13th of April, we need to see that rally still to $20, and a break above $17.98, if sustained, will be a good level of confirmation, or good degree of confirmation for that. So that's what I'm watching on this chart. Obviously, the pressure is now down because we broke below support. A recovery, at least in wave 2 in yellow, is likely, maybe started, but it would, from the current point of view, it's only a corrective rally. Happy to be impressed by the bulls, but likelihood or experience tells us that if there is a break below the golden ratio level, it's often, yeah, it's often not a wave 4 anymore. Okay, so that's how I see this at the moment. And yeah, let me think. What else? Yeah, it's just not reliable anymore as a wave 4. So any rally from here is first seen as a wave 2 correction, possibly into the region between 1643 to 1798. And then we have to be mindful that there could be a rejection and the third wave to the downside could follow. Now, at the moment, the 100% extension points to $10. We can specify those targets to the downside further once we have the first 1-2 set up to the downside in place. That's my update about a link. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.